Today we're going to be learning how to take a derivative by using the power rule. The power rule states that if you have a function f of x that equals x to some power of p, then the derivative of f prime of x, equals p times x to the power of p minus 1. To use the power rule, the exponent comes down to the front, multiplies by the coefficient, and you subtract 1. Example: if g of x equals 3x to the power of 7, find g prime of x. To do this problem, I rewrite g of x, which is 3x to the 7th. I need to identify that the exponent is 7. Now I'm going to apply the power rule to take a derivative. G prime of x, the derivative of g, is equal, I'm going to bring the power to the front, to 3 times 7 x to the power of 7 minus 1. We can simplify this to get a final solution of 21x to the 6th. Now you try applying the power rule. Find f prime of x if f of x equals 4x to the 3rd. Pause the video at this point and work out the problem on your own. So at this point you pause the video and you've tried working through the problem yourself. I'm now going to reveal the answer. In order to find f prime of x here, you take the power, which was 3, bring it down to the front, multiply it with the coefficient, and subtract 1. 4 times 3 is 12, x to the power of 2. Now those are both nice examples of the power rule, but sometimes we have to reformat our function in order to use the power rule. So power rule is for functions of the form x to the power of p. But what if it doesn't look like that? Here's an example. Find v prime of t for v of t equals 2t to the power of 5 minus t minus 4 over the cube root of t. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my function v of t. v of t equals t to the 5th, 2t to the 5th, minus t minus 4 over the cube root of t. And now that I have the problem rewritten, I'm going to include any coefficients and exponents that I haven't used yet. So 2t to the 5th, that's a coefficient and a power, minus, this is 1t to the 1st power, minus 4, the denominator has a coefficient as well, 1, the cube root of t, and then t in here has an exponent of 1. Now, we're not going to take a derivative yet. We are going to rewrite v of t before we can apply the power rule. So I'm allowed to put an equals sign here. Now remember, we are not taking a derivative at this stage. We're just rewriting our terms for v of t. 2t to the 5th looks fine, minus 1t to the 1st, minus, now I need to apply my exponent rules. My coefficient is 4 over 1. 4 over 1 is the same as 4. Next I have t. T was in the denominator, so its exponent becomes negative. t's power 1 stays with t first and divides by the root divided by 3. So I've rewritten v of t. After I rewrite, now I'm ready to take a derivative. You cannot put an equal sign here. You must go to the next line and write v prime of t equals. And we're going to apply the power rule on a rewritten version. My first power is 5. I've got 2 times 5t to the power of 5 minus 1. Minus 1 times 1 t to the power of 1 minus 1. Minus, my coefficient is 4 times negative 1/3 t to the negative 1/3 minus 1. Finally, we're going to simplify. 2 times 5 is 10. 10t to the 5 minus 1 is 4. Minus, now 1 times 1 is 1, but 1 minus 1, that's 0. And t to the power of 0, just like anything to the power of 0, equals 1, not 0. So I'm going to have 1 times t to the 0, which is 1. So this all comes out to minus 1. Finally, I've got this last term here. I've got negative 4 times negative 1/3. A negative times a negative is a positive, plus 4/3 t to the power of, now I've got negative 1/3 minus 1 whole. 1 whole is the same as 3/3. So I've got negative 1/3 minus 3/3. That comes out to negative 4/3. It is a coincidence that these numbers are the same. That does not always happen. My final answer for v prime of t is 10t to the 4th minus 1 plus 4/3 t to the negative 4/3. Now that we've gone over the power rule, it's time for you to practice. You try. For each of the following, find f prime of x. At this stage, please pause your video and work out these 4 problems. By this point, you should have paused the video to work out the 4 problems. I'm now going to reveal the answers. Here are the answers to the power rule problems. Thank you for watching.